Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything, whatever one is doing. It's not that something is hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge encompasses everything. He knows what the people are doing, and they will be held into account. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala originated us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will again make us will bring us to life, and we will be held accountable for whatever we have done on this earth. And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belongs Allah ta'ala lahu mulku samawati wal ard. To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belongs the kingdom of the heaven and the earth. Wallahu ala kulli shay'in shaheed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witness over everything. So even if one ponders over just this ayah, the ayah number 9, when we realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witnessing everything, we will stop doing the wrong things. We will stop doing the things which is in disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you see, every like in every Quran class, we should at least ponder. In fact, we should ponder every day. Whenever we read Quran, we should ponder on the verses of Quran. And if we ponder in just one verse, it can change our life to a great deal. So even one sentence, one ayah, Wallahu ala kulli shay'in shaheed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witness over everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing everything. So here we get many lessons. First is that the crime people do against us, the crime people do against Muslims, the crime of the disbeliever against the Muslims. They are persecuting Muslims. Still now, the disbeliever are persecuting Muslims. They are making the life of Muslims difficult. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witness over everything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish those people who are committing crimes against Muslims. They will have a severe punishment, as we see here, that Allah ta'ala will punish them with they will have the torment of Jahannam, and they will have the torment of burning. They will go in Jahannam and they will burn there forever. And these people who are persecuting Muslims, they are causing hardship of Muslim. They should also, what they should do. So even this surah is a ray of hope even for these type of people who realize that they are wrong, they have been doing wrong. So for them also there's a ray of hope that if they stop doing that and they do tawbah and they repent and they bring iman and they begin to do good deeds, to do righteous deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to forgive. He is the most forgiving. He is the most loving. You see, in this surah, when we are talking about the very heinous crime, many believers, many believing men, women, even the children, they were the believing slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were burned to death. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling them to forgive, for forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling them to repent of their misdeed, and Allah ta'ala is telling them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most forgiving, most loving. The time is up today, inshallah. I'll continue with the next surah in the next class. And there's a great lesson in this surah. If only we reflect, if only we take lesson from it. We studied about the strong iman of the believers. So here for believers as well, there's a lesson here that it's not only we who are facing this. The people ahead of us, those who were who came before us, they had to face severe calamities. So they were told to jump into the fire, and they did that. They did not listen to them. For protecting their iman, they even chose to willingly jump into the fire. We read the story of a Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said that if I had many life as much as there are hairs in my body, I would love to give all of my life for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here there's a lesson of iman, for lesson of strengthening our faith for us Muslim, and there's also a ray of hope for those disbeliever who want to repent and who want to come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even they are told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgiving, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them if they leave all their bad things, if they leave prosecuting the Muslims, and if they leave making trouble to the believers, and they repent and they come to Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive him, and he will get a great achievement. And so, subhanallah, Quran is a book of hikmah. Quran is a book of guidance. Here, this surah is a guidance for the Muslims, for the disbeliever, for everyone. May Allah Ta'ala gives us the insight that we reflect on the ayah of Quran, we understand the lesson, and we gain from the enormous blessing which Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has put in Quran. If someone is able to do amal on this ayah, is just imagine if someone is able to leave their sin, if someone is able to leave their disobedience and come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Ya Allah, you are Ghafoor, you are Wadood, Ya Allah, you are loving, you are the most forgiving, Ya Allah, forgive me, Ya Allah, you love me, you are Wadood, don't leave me in my state, I am a sinner and I want to repent, Ya Allah, guide me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will definitely open the door of guidance for him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept him and forgive him and grant him or her Jannatul Firdaus, and give him great achievement as he has promised in Quran. May Allah ta'ala make us from those people who are given Jannah, who are forgiven and who are guided. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun alal mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.